Hey Art1, I am getting ready to show you some steps to do your 1-point perspective bedroom. I'm also going to attach some other videos. This is not a process that you can do in one day. It's going to take you 3 or 4 days. And you also need to Sharpie the drawing and add colored pencil to it in shadows. So don't wait till the last minute to start this project. But it should be a lot of fun. It's going to use what we've been doing, which is 1-point perspective. It's going to show a little bit of your personality. I took the time to draw a view of my bedroom. I simplified some things, and you're going to have to do the same thing because architectural drawing can be very elaborate, but it's also very fascinating because it brings the world into 3D. So I hope you enjoy, and if you need to, rewatch so that you can figure it out, or if my video is not clear enough, or you need more information, then I've attached some other YouTube videos that take you through the beginning to the end. So have fun drawing.
Okay, so we're going to be doing a 1-point perspective of your bedroom. And so I have made a drawing of my bedroom. I'm going to go through the process, but the supplies you're going to need is a ruler, of course. If you have a smaller one, a short one, that will work even better, or a triangle. You need a light pencil if you have a mechanical pencil, because these lines are going to be erased. I have a smaller eraser, but whatever you have, it just needs to be a white eraser. And then you're going to need colored pencils and a Sharpie, because you are going to outline it with the Sharpie, and then you're going to add color to it. When you submit the piece, you're going to submit both a photo of your bedroom, and you're going to submit the drawing. So the photo of your bedroom, when you're drawing this, obviously you're going to simplify and take some things out, but we're going to get started. So my sketchbook is 8.5 by 11. So I have a 6 by 9, this is a 6 by 9 rectangle, and so I traced around the rectangle. So if you have a smaller sketchbook, you may want to go all the way to the edge. Remember that there's a perforation on some of these. That's where you tear it. So you don't want to draw on that. You want to make sure you're inside the perforation. Okay, so one of the things we learned was the horizon line. So the first thing I did is I drew a horizon line. Now, if you measure it, you can see there, that's 2, and that's 2 inches. It makes it easier to connect the line. I'm going to go ahead and draw the line back in so you can see it. But that line's going to be erased. So that line where it runs through things, I'm going to have to go back and erase that. Alright, our vanishing point. So my vanishing point, I set slightly to the center. So here's the center. I put my vanishing point slightly to the center. But if you want to put yours exactly in the middle, all you have to do is go corner to corner, and that will give you a dot where they intersect, and that'll give you the middle. Okay, so that's another way to do it. So here's my vanishing point. I could have put my vanishing point in the middle. I chose to put it to the left side, and the reason I did that is because then that way I'm seeing a little bit more of what's on the right side of the room, which that's where my dresser was, so I wanted to show more of it. Okay, so let's start on the bed. So the bed is against the wall. Now, I don't have a bed frame. You might have a bed frame, but this is very easy. Remember that 1-point perspective means that you're seeing the face of the box. So I can go right here from the vanishing point, and I can draw out. That gives me the width of my bed. Okay, so I drew a horizontal line. Remember, if it's horizontal, there's got to be another horizontal that matches it. So here's my other horizontal right here that matches it. And then here's my face. So here's my vertical line, and here's my vertical line. So here is the face of the box, and it is going back or converging to the vanishing point. If I wanted to make my bed shorter, which I'm going to, so there's the back side of my bed. So right now I'm going to erase all of this because I just noticed my pillows weren't sitting on the bed, and that's why we're going to use colored pencils, so that we can get rid of some of the information. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to measure and make sure that's 3 1/4 and that's 3 1/4. Okay, so that's the back of my bed. So I had a pillow on my bed as well. My pillow is organic, so when I drew my pillow, okay, now see, I just made a mistake because my mechanical pencil, the eraser, is not working. It's too old. So that's one reason why we're going to use colored pencil. Alright, so I'm going to go back in now and I'm going to put in my pillows. So my pillow was behind my blanket, and then my other pillow was sitting on the left side. These are organic, so they're going to have the perspective that they have is that they are smaller because they are further back in the distance. So I'm trying to get rid of, so I'm going to go ahead, since I already have this and you can see it, I'm going to outline where, and remember when you outline that you want to put something underneath the paper because it'll seep through. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the blanket that I had on the bed. Okay, I'll put in the design later. Alright, so if I had a headboard, my headboard would be just like the front. I would have vertical lines going up and a horizontal line going across. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead everybody has a different style of pillow. You've got to look at yours and see what it's doing, but your pillows are more organic. Alright, so the same thing goes for the cover on the bed. So earlier I already had these erased, but I'm going to erase them again. So my comforter that is on my bed, it's kind of like icing on a cake. I'm not going to see what's underneath, I'm only going to see what's on top. So here is my comforter. And so I have a line there I'm going to have to erase. So I see a little bit around the edge, but again, it's more of an organic line. So I'm going to erase this right here. Now, when you're using Sharpie, it's important that you let it dry. So if you try to erase it too fast, then you may smudge it. Now, I have like a ruffle that's underneath my comforter. And so this line that I drew, this is like the ruffle that's underneath my comforter on the bed. Alright, so I have my bed laid out. I'm not seeing this line, so I'll erase this line in just a moment, but I want to show you how I put the rug in there. So the way I put the rug in there is the same way. I decided how far out the rug was going to be, and I go from the point to the vanishing point, and that gives me the angle of the rug. And then I have a horizontal line. So again, here's your horizontal line. It's easier on your horizontal lines if you measure. So again, I'm going to look at my measurement. and then I go from the point to my vanishing point. So remember that your vanishing point is going to be erased. You're not going to see it in the end. So there's the rug that's sitting underneath my bed. Now, there is space between the ruffle on my bed and the floor, but when I shade, when I do the color pencil, you're going to see that here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of the rug. And you'll notice I'm using the ruler. When you use the ruler for Sharpie, you've got to clean it. So you're going to take a paper towel and just clean that edge, and then that way it won't smear. Then I'm going to do the other side. So like I was saying, when you're using your colored pencils, let's see, more of a blue one. Let's see if I can find a blue colored pencil. Alright, so here's my colored pencil. So when I start shading this, the color is going to come all the way up to where that ruffle is. And you'll know then that that rug goes underneath the bed. Now I'm just going to put a light shading in there. I'll go back in and add more color. But right now I just want you to see how that color is going underneath the bed. Alright, so let's do another part of the room. So anything that's on the wall here, the rule of thumb is if it's a horizontal, it's going to repeat itself. So this is a horizontal. It's going to be parallel to the wall. Same thing with the floor. The floor is horizontal, so it's going to be parallel to the wall. Or the floor that's on the wall is also just like the back wall. There's a vertical, here's a vertical. The top is horizontal, so this is horizontal. So this is going to be two-dimensional, just like the back wall. So let's talk about the side wall. Okay, so we have from the vanishing point to the corner, we have a line that converges. And that line is going to give me the floor, but it's going to be invisible here because I'm going to erase it. It's going to be erased here. And I'm going to have one that goes from the vanishing point to the right corner. So what that's doing is it's creating that side wall. Okay? So my door frame does the same thing. I'm going from the point to the vanishing point. That gives me the top of my frame. The side of the door is vertical. It's a vertical line. So I'm repeating what the wall's doing. And the bottom is already created because I used the vanishing point to create the bottom of the wall. So I'm going to go in there now and erase that. Back out again. And you can see how I created that wall. So it's going to happen on both sides. So you can see here, same thing, vanishing point to the corner, vanishing point to the corner, and that gives you your left wall. Okay? So that's why it's really important that you draw lightly, because you're going to be erasing these converging lines out of your image. And if you draw really dark, then they are not going to erase easily. Even me, even though I've drawn fairly lightly, there's still a lot of areas that I'm having trouble erase. Okay, so let's talk about the dresser. All right, so when I drew the dresser, I know that the dresser is against the wall. So I drew a line out almost an inch to this point. From that point to the vanishing point gives me the bottom of the dresser. Okay? So when I drew that line, let me draw it real fast. So I drew this line first because that's where the dresser's coming out. Then I laid it down and I drew, and I'll draw just a little bit of the line so you can see that the perspective is going to the vanishing point. Again, everything is converging to the same vanishing point. We're doing 1 point perspective. Alright, so I have the line. I know that the front of the dresser is a vertical line, so the back of the dresser is a vertical line too. It depends on, you know, how long your dresser is. If you've got a nightstand, it's going to be shorter. But so the front vertical equals the back vertical. This width here is the same as the width here. Okay? So everything's converging. Even the things that are on top of the dresser are converging to the vanishing point. Alright, let me erase this line. Alright, so all of the details like the doorknobs and things like that you can add later. For right now you just want to get the basics. So you want your bed. You need to have at least 1 to 2 pieces of other furniture. Say you have a nightstand by your bed, or maybe you have a shelf on the wall. I had a chair sitting here with one of those bed rests that you put in the bed so you can read. You can see here on the ceiling that I have a dream catcher that's hanging down from the ceiling. I have a fan. I don't know, I may put the fan right here. I haven't decided yet. But that's how you start building it. So again, once you get it drawn, you're going to go in there and you're going to outline with your ultrafine Sharpie. Now, say you don't have an ultrafine Sharpie, then just use a black ballpoint pen. It will do it too. But remember, if you're using the Sharpie, that you need to make sure and clean the ruler so it doesn't smear. So, you need to start working on your drawing. Again, I would take a photograph of your room, or what I did is I sat right here to draw it. But if you don't want to sit in your room because you may have been spending a lot of time there, then take a photograph or take 3 or 4 photographs. But you're going to post the photograph, at least one photograph, with your drawing. If your bed is on the side of the wall, I'm going to attach a video that shows that as well. So this should be a fun project. It's great because we're going to get to see a little personality of you, and you're going to get to use the tools that you've learned with 1 point perspective.